Hey everybody, welcome back to Champ and Sons and our new City Skylines series where we are in our third episode and we are going to get some stuff done today. Now you'll notice it is going a little quicker than what it has before. This one we are trying out a little different of a format just to make the video slightly shorter but still get kind of the same amount of work done as we have in the others. This one is actually being pre-recorded and then being done with a voiceover, so understand if the speed kind of goes a little wonky there. It's not intended to, it's just trying something new. And as we get these cities developed, one thing I definitely want to try to start working on that I never did really in the first one, just because, well, wasn't all that good at playing it, but is getting these ridges done first, or not ridges, districts, and getting the districts in, and starting to look to set policies for each of the districts. A lot of them are going to be pretty similar, and we're going to kind of try to keep districts to neighborhood areas, right? So that's something we are definitely going to be looking to try and get done here. Now, as we start developing these little districts in, I do want to give y'all an opportunity definitely to name some of the districts. So the first one was Elm Ridge. This one is going to be Hawkins something. Definitely throw the name down in the comments if you'd like to get that name in on these districts. We will definitely do that. And now I'm looking at some of the electricity services because we are still losing money. You kind of advance up enough between the different levels to make up for that. But I definitely want to start trying to, increase the profit as a city. You want it to be sustainable, right? And we are going to try to get that going. We've cut down the electricity usage just to see, one, I know we can stand it, but just to kind of keep it going. Now, I mentioned in the last episode, we got some fertile land over off in this section, so we're going to look to create basically what amounts to a little farming area. It's basically, I don't want to say it's like a little farming village. It's really not. It's going to be what amounts to our basically like a farming neighborhood. The easiest way to think of it from where I'm at is Austin, and you start going out towards Taylor, you get more of the rural type area, and that's what this is really going to be. It's going to be some more rural development, so we're going to have smaller little neighborhood segments mixed in with some people obviously doing some form of farming, because we do need to get that production going. That is something that's going to help out a lot. And we're also going to eventually start working to put trains in. I believe that might get put in a little later in this episode. And don't worry, it's going to look real shabby. I promise y'all it's going to look pretty dang shabby. But that's okay. I understand it. I just needed to try to get some training so we can get some exporting done on some goods. It also makes things a little easier to import as well. Now, we don't have any ocean sea export, so it is all going to be through the train for now, and then we are going to work on possibly an airport later on, but that's going to be way on down the line. So here is the little farm road that we're going to be working on, right? Trying to go outside the fertile land section, just doing the continuous. Yeah, it's a little curvy road. I mean, that's just the way it is. It's kind of shapes out for the way this farmland works out. Now, I don't want to try to take off too much of it, but we do have to put some roads in there to actually build some of these farms off of. That's why you see me kind of drawing in some of these connection roads and things kind of going all the way around, is we're going to have these to get some farms actually put in there instead of making them off essentially the main kind of dirt road area. So that's mainly the thinking in doing that. Yeah, it cuts out some of the fertile land, but overall works out pretty well. Now, looking at what we need to do, in reality, I got kind of confused. I was like, where the hell are these, is putting in the farming? I know now it's in the zoning section, but I legit had to, you see me pause the game here, and I can tell you what I'm doing right now is actually checking on YouTube for other people that play, like, where the hell is this industry stuff at, to find it in the zoning. I felt like an idiot afterwards, and yeah, I probably could have cut this part out, but it is what it is. I do like how it kind of sits here while I do that. But we're just trying to figure out how we can put it in. And we're going to get a couple farms put in here as well as some cattle area. Now, I know we're going to look at it and go, oh, wait, some of this cattle area may be getting used up some fertile land. I understand some of the animal stuff. I get it, but we need both. And in reality, I don't mind doing that. You're going to want to have fertile land, not completely for growing crops, but you're going to want to have some so your cows can actually eat grass instead of having to pay for hay and all that stuff coming all the dang time. That's going to be too expensive as a farmer to make that shit happen. So if you have grass that they can actually eat off of, it makes your life a little bit easier. So here we are just mapping out our first little, I guess it's grain pretty much is what it is, as we get that farm planted in and surrounded by that road connection. Now we have two bigger areas of fertile land that we can use, right? Here I'm going to put a little farming section off the fertile land. It still does cover up some, don't get me wrong. Like I could probably put a small little farm right there on that very edge of it. But I decided let's go with some animal stuff. We need to get that in as well. And this is a farming section, right? So you're going to have your animals and your basically, I guess, your regular farms going up in those areas. And so that's kind of what we're looking at. Now, obviously, I want to try to keep up with demand. I hate trying to ignore it. I know I've heard people say you don't have to do it. And yes, once again, I know we're cutting out some fertile land right there. But we need to get some people in here. We need to get some commercial stuff going, because this is where people are going to be living, right? This is our little neighborhood section. And in reality, you don't want people living next to a highway. Plus, it's not the most fertile of land. So I'm willing to sacrifice it to give people a home to live in. That's what I'm thinking of, is the people trying to live here. As that does build up relatively quickly. And now I started thinking, oh shit, now we got to plug into the sewers. And I can't understand for the life of me why. And it's taken me really until now, it seems like, to get those connections from the sewage pipes over. And some of these connections, using this regular road actually helps us out because of the way it's done. But I don't know. It sometimes going these connections across water bodies and stuff just start to screw with my mind a little bit, you know. So we got the farms going. Now we're getting in just some of the more commercial demand here. You see it coming in along that Main Street section, right on just the other side facing that neighborhoods. And really, I will say this, I have learned that in general, when you put commercial up, you want it to be around the residential, right? So the best way that you try to avoid getting that not enough customer stuff, which I think they have fixed that bug. I'm not 100% sure, but I think they have. But the best way to avoid getting that little bug is to ensure that you have enough residential around the commercial sections. That's kind of one of the bigger details that I think gets kind of overlooked. You do have to have that there. So here we are. You see building, I don't want to call it a little suburb. It's more just a little village type area. And we are going to put in just some commerce around the people. And then also I want something around the dirt road, right? Because even whenever you're driving down these dirt roads, there's always going to be some form of a shop. It's not going to be stacked up next to each other like you get in a big city, but you will have some shops here or there. Now, I'm looking at some of these different sections of land that we need to buy and kind of where we want to expand, knowing that the residential area is going to kind of expand out this way. That's the train track that runs along that side. So I am going to have to fill in that box. But I'm also looking to move the industrial section up just a little bit, basically towards that power plant. Because one, we are going to put in the train there. And you're going to see that's what we're going to be working on doing here just right now. And it kind of becomes a little debacle in and of itself, right? But we're going to be putting that in to really start shifting this over. Because ideally the downtown area is going to be where a lot of the medium density buildings are right now. where we first started putting up houses, and that's going to just start overtaking all of that land, all of that housing. It's going to be rezoned as we start getting a demand for the medium density, and then eventually higher density where we start getting the skyscrapers. It's all going to start being rezoned right around there. And so we're going to look to kind of expand everything going out. Now, talking in some other plans that we do have for our city, the main road that we have going around, the 4-lane road that we got going around, eventually I'm going to try to turn that into a little highway loop around for the most part. And that might be a little adventure. It's definitely going to be done later instead of right now. Don't have highways unlocked at all. But it's something I'm going to be looking at doing. It's kind of the plan for later on moving forward. And so here we are just trying to figure out what are we going to do to get some more residential in. One, there's never seems to be enough. You can never have enough residential. I don't care how many houses you put down. I don't care if the thing is low density, medium density. You're gonna need more. That's one of those demands that seems to never go away for that. And so here we are, just starting basically another little neighborhood section that's going to be following it off. And this might be more of a gated neighborhood type of community. I know that is an option once you get district policies in place. And I might do it like that. It's kind of set up on a hill for the most part. That seems like something people that live in a gated community might like to have, is their little neighborhood set up overlooking everybody else so they can just look down their noses at everybody else. So that's something that we are thinking about doing. And knowing that I'm going to plan to make this a highway, I need a connection at some point. And so that's kind of what that purpose is for. That road back there is going to be kind of a crossroad over into this area for when we do make it a highway. So that's pretty much what I'm thinking right there. It's not the easiest or most convenient route to go in and out, but it does seem to work, I think. So here we are, just putting some sporadic zoning going on to try to get a new area built up. Like I said, everything can be rezoned. Trust me, eventually everything will be rezoned. That's just how it goes. So now we're extending out this industrial land, and that was kind of the plan from the beginning, to start shifting it out. And here we are. We're going to unlock the trains. Like I said, I know I want to do that, and I've never put trains in. I don't care whether it's been City Skylines 1, Sim City. I think I did it in Sim City. It's been so long since I played that dang game. But I am definitely looking to put trains in here. I've been watching people do it, trying to figure that one out. And the way I do it, I just don't think is the best way. But we're going to give it a shot either way. This train depot, I just assumed is the one that you would need for cargo. I know there's a storage thing, and we are going to get that in later after I put this one in. But it's going to take me a little bit, and I promise you we are going to redo it. So what you're seeing, it's not your final product, but this is going to look kind of ugly. So if you got OCD about this kind of thing, trust me, I'm going to fix it. Don't worry. I feel the same way from everything I've seen from other people actually do this correctly, right? And I wanted to keep this kind of train here in this area. As far as a new farming section where we're going to extend a lot of our more rural areas, I probably am going to have to put in a little train station over there for shipping stuff, just because that'll be the easiest way to get those products shipped out on train. But for now, I just want to keep it located to the industrial section, knowing that majority of what's going to be needed is probably going to be brought in from train over there, right? So we are starting to see some office demand come, not much. We're only at a level 4. So it's one of those things that I don't want to go too crazy with it yet, because that stuff can disappear pretty quick. We've only got the high school in, so we haven't had a chance to truly provide people with higher education levels yet. And as you get more offices in, it's going to be needed, right? So anytime you see us do the zoning, it really is kind of just filling the need in between everything else we want to do. Now, I'm putting in a bus depot. I'm going to give you all the same warning like with the train stuff that's going to be going in. Don't panic. I will fix it. In reality, I just went scrambling through, putting in bus stop locations all around the city, trying to map it out one way or the other. I didn't honestly think about the side of the road they were on. I probably should have, and I haven't thought about the number of trains either. You know what I mean? And some of this roadway we're going to have to fix eventually, so I'm not going to stress out about that too much. It's just I did go through and sporadically place these little bus line things, and so we're going to get that fixed up. Now, adding in the little bus pattern, for some reason I thought I would put it back and forth into the depot, but this seems to just work out doing it this way. And you see, I do track the way I went, but now I'm starting to get confused. Like, wait a second. What side of the damn road? Why is it circling around like that? Realizing, oh, crap. Part of the way through, I do realize, well, I put it on the wrong side of the road, but such is life. Trying to figure out how to get to that one, connect up. I swear this is going about twice as fast, so imagine what you're seeing right now. Take the amount of time it is, and that's how long it took me. Now, I added in a bus stop on the correct side of the street. It finally started clicking on me, but I had to go back through and put all new route trackers going in. If y'all can figure out a better way to do that, or a way that lets you kind of fix it in the middle without deleting the bus stop area, please let me know, because I'm going to really focus on trying to do stuff like buses, and it's going to drive me insane. Alright, so I got that bus route in, and now I'm sitting here thinking, well, hell, what? Already the bus depot's got 16 out of 16 employees. Just thinking, alright, we got to work on finding out some more buses and putting in some other things. I did start putting in the road that goes down the little river. I did start putting in the commercial zoning. I just think that just seems golly gee great, you know. It is what it is. So here we come out, finishing up adding in another little farm. I actually really like doing this. It maybe sound cheesy, but this is one of my favorite things to do here in this one. In City Skylines, I didn't do a whole lot of that kind of zoning, just because, like I said, I did more of a sandbox mode style of play, and really just trying to learn the game and get back into it. But here, I really definitely wanted to start doing things like the farms and all of that. One, it helps for the upgrading of our little city, but two, it helps us to try to get more profitable down the line. Like I said, that residential zoning just goes insane. But we got some pretty good expansion going. Now, I will say, as soon as buildings become abandoned, I always demolish them. I'm not sure what y'all's thoughts are. I like to demolish them. Makes me feel better that way. People want to move out, fine. Building's gone. Don't need it. Get out of here. And now we're going to finish up, for the most part, just putting in some more of these parks that we got unlocked. One, I know people really like it. It works better. Trying to figure out where to put some stuff in, just for the simple fact that we're going to have to destroy stuff. And I do also select sports parks because I love sports parks. Eventually, I do want to try to build either a little sports park campus where you got basketball courts, soccer fields, football fields. You got everything going for every kid in the city to be able to go play. And that's kind of the biggest thing there. And so we're just going to be putting in, it took me a while to realize this is all part of the damn cemetery land. But we are going to be putting these in to try to finish up some of the minor little detailing going on here. Not really detailing, but just kind of adding in some things to keep people happy, to keep people coming in, and to keep our city growing for the time being. So we are definitely going to do some revisions as the city expands. So don't worry, that is going to be coming on down the road here. And taking a look, I don't think we're actually going to get the train station put in today. That may actually be coming in the next episode, because I do remember hooking up those damn tracks to the main one. It's kind of crazy. Trying to get that done. Now here next to the medium density, we're going to put in a little bit more sports parks, some other parks to keep everybody happy, and I think that would work out really well. So Unlock milestone number 5. Mixed housing stuff, that's actually going to come into play. Radio masts, we're going to look to get some communication things going eventually on down the road. I promise y'all, when it comes to services and stuff that I'm putting in, we are definitely going to get that kind of thing fixed up as we go. This was really just kind of the first time getting into it, getting used to it, and playing around with it. So that is what we are going to definitely be doing. Cheap money, by the way, if you ever want to know. Street parking, charge for it. It's cheap. I say it's cheap to do that just because you make people pay for parking on the street. Oh well, they can get over it if they don't want to park on the street. In the next episode, we are going to look to expand out on our residential area, so definitely stay tuned for that. And a little forest fire off in the distance there, as we try to go from tiny town to boom town in that next episode. Now, we are going to be coming up to seeing some of these basically it's going to be some of the minor little cinematic type shots here as we finish up with these minor little details going on. So I definitely say stay tuned for that. Hit the subscribe button if you have not hit it already, and definitely give us a thumbs up if you did like today's video as we come to these little cinematic shots. And I will see y'all in the next episode, everybody. So as always, stay safe, and well, y'all know how it goes by now, right? Later, y'all.